Well, for 5 years I got the ISC coilovers torn down. I'm gonna freshen them up with some new dampers. But while I do that, keep the thing rolling, I got these junky, I don't even know what name brand, Arrows something. They came with one of the engine kits from eBay, one of the import kits for GD. So I'm gonna put them on, and they're fully adjustable, so it gives me a little corner balance practice. Right now the car, it's just up on 2 jacks. Yeah, it balances on 2 jacks. So it's just cool like that. So it's like woo. Woo. Anywho, it's not fun. There's my simulated fuel tank weight, because I only got like an eighth of a tank in there. So I wanted to get about a half a tank. Then obviously I got to sit in the driver's seat. I have the weights zeroed out now, so I'm gonna lower it back down. Basically what I'm trying to do is corner balance it. I took an initial measurement. You take the lower, or not the lower spring perch, you adjust the body's threaded down there. So you kind of twist the whole thing, and it makes the coilover a little bit longer, per se. And then basically whichever weight, you're not going to get exact weights. This ain't a BMW, it's not 50-50. The idea is just to get your cross weights even. And with me in it, obviously, being a light vehicle, I'm 200 pounds. I kind of offset the weight to the left side. So you're never going to get perfect weight distribution, but you try to equal out the diagonals. I don't know, handling which craft, it makes it ride better. So with that said, my weight zeroed out. I was 39 pounds off diagonally, so I had to add 39 pounds to either the front right or the rear left. I chose the rear left because I didn't want to make the front any higher. So I adjusted the coilover about less than a quarter inch, maybe 3/16 of an inch, 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters. And I'm going to lower it back down now and get a fresh weight. So on the stands, obviously the scales have been leveled. I used a laser level and just make sure they're all the same height, because any height difference those stands are is like a height adjustment, a height difference in your coilovers. So they don't have to be level. Touching, give the suspension a good bounce. Yeah, bounce that up. Bouncy. Let's just make sure there's nothing binding. All right, and then with me in it, it should weigh around 2863. Let's see where we're at. Let's see how reliable the scale is. Where are we at here? I gotta say, these Proform scales are very consistent. I was at 2863. I jacked it up, took the wheels off, played with this corner balance, got back in it, reset the scales, and I'm still at 2863. But what I need to do is take a snapshot of that, and then I'll plug that back into the calculator, because this, as far as the scale is, it doesn't give me corner weights. I go on the internet, you just type in corner balance calculator, and I think Rob Bonnet or something like that came up first. You put your weights in there and it tells you where to shift the weight around. You can move batteries, you can move fire extinguishers, you can move all kinds of stuff. But once you've exhausted all those options, you got to adjust the coil length. So I'm gonna go do that now and see how close we are on that weight. All right, I got my new weights written down. These are my old weights, so I'll update these. 918, 819, 568, and 558. Calculate. I'm still 60% front, 48. Well, that don't make much sense. 39, so 60, 40, close to stock. Let's see where. And my target, I am now down to 16 pounds. I need 16 more pounds in the left rear, so I'm going to raise it up another 1/8 of an inch, and then that should be good. I'm already at 49.6 to 50, so another 1/8 inch, I'm going to call it a day. Alright, back at it. Basically, I got to take the wheel back off, one-handed. Really need to figure this. I got one of those Movo or those DJI things. It's so hard to use. You connect it. I just want like a thing that holds my phone on a tripod. Calls it a day. Alright, so how to adjust these. I'm already kind of bottomed out here. Loosen that lock collar on the bottom. You kind of touch it back down the bottom because I only want to go up like 1/8. Now I'm going to take the whole coilover, since there ain't no weight on it, spin it a little bit, and lock it back in. Actually, that might have been too much. I'll go back just a hair. One thread. Lock it back in. See, when I first started, this is the only wheel I adjusted. And when I first started this corner balance, I was 40 pounds off. And that's how much I moved it. Like, not even a 1/4 inch. And it perfectly corner balanced this thing. So it doesn't take much. Like I said, that's how critical it is to have your scales on a level, all at the same height, same elevation. Because if this was a 16th off, it could literally add like 20 pounds to the corner, this corner of the car. And then also, if you're doing this, adjustable sway bar links, because anytime you move, like this now is a 1/4 inch higher than that side to carry the extra weight, and it is, you know, that 1/4 inch flex could wreak havoc on your sway bar. It's like preloading your sway bar, and that's not something you want to do. So if you're going to quarter balance, you need coilovers, you need adjustable sway bar links, obviously you need some scales, you need the online calculator, and it's really it really improves the handling. I had this thing out at the track, at a pit race a couple years ago before I corner balanced it, and it would severely understeer on right hand corners, and then it would never break loose on left hand corners. I said, how can my truck handle so good around left hand corners and not handle at all around right hand corners? And all it was the corner balance. I did that, and it really evened it out. And then lately I've been on a quest to make even further improvements to McPherson struts, minimizing inboard movement, trying to get the bump steer out of it, because obviously this isn't stock geometry. So I got some more playing around with it, but I'll try and post up as I do different things. Get this wheel back on and set it down. Alright, I decided to go with the front left. I'm going to lower the front left instead of keeping, because the right rear or the left rear is getting, it's just getting too much. It's a 1/2 inch longer now than the one side, and even though I didn't want to lower the front, I can't. It's getting too much out of balance. So this one here, the same thing basically. You loosen the collar, and I'm going to drop this down. We'll just say 1/8 of an inch to start. And then you just turn the whole body in there. A little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oops. Loosen this up a little bit more. These are old coilovers. They don't move like new. And I don't even even know who makes them. But that's good enough for now. Give that a lock. Put the tire back on and check it again. Okay, tire's back on. I'm back in. This is like the 5th time I've just did this thing. You know what would really make this easier, which I'm sure someone has said by now, is those hub stands. Why I don't have a set of hub stands yet, I don't know. Every time I go to make a set, the material's crazy. It's like $300 for some material, and it's like, well, why don't I just buy a set? Then I go to online to look at just a buy set, and the prices are like, it's ridiculous, because you need one that can move. It's not just a stand. It's got to have kind of like bearings on the bottom. It's got to be able to flex a little bit, but be strong enough to, hold the car up, obviously. So that's why I don't have hub stands yet. And 581, 900. I think I'm spot on now. Let's give these. Let's give this a screenshot. Like I said, what you guys just saw, I lowered that wheel. What I mean by lowered that wheel is I shrunk the coilover, lowered the car, not the wheel. I guess I don't know. You get what I mean. So I'll go plug those new values in and see where we're at. There, here's the whole trial and errors. But here's like I said, hub stands make it so easy. I'm gonna plug in the new weights. I'll taught her some. 900, 836, 581, and 544. Calculate. Cross weight is 1 pound. Oh, one there, 1.7. I don't get it. Whatever. 1 pound. Some of my cross weight's still only 49.6%, but it is 1 pound off. I could take a crap and throw this whole thing off, so we're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna call that about as good as it gets. And now you know how to cross balance an Exotruck, or just any Subaru or any car with coilovers, basically. Yep.